Our next speaker is a brother, is a pastor, is an entrepreneur. Pastor Soji Sanyaolu. I will leave the introduction to him because I'm not sure I can fully comprehend it, but may I invite Pastor Soji Sanyaolu. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. Super grateful. Uh, and I will say more of this tomorrow by the grace of God. But to the set man on the region, Pastor Sam, thank you for the privilege of giving to me to come uh, to this place and to be able to compare notes with the brethren. And I sincerely know and trust God that your vision for this work, multiple years to come, if Christ tarries, we will see the fruit, and the body of Christ will be edified, promoted, and God's name will be glorified in Jesus' name. Now,
Amen.
Pastor Taiwo, sir, how much time do I have so I can plan accordingly,
You have an
please?
hour, sir, 60
Okay,
minutes.
1 hour. Okay, fantastic. Uh, it's a church program. I know we're talking about business, but church program permit us to pray. We'll equally read the Bible. Because whatever we want to do here is rooted in the Bible. We will pick an example of a startup in the Bible, and then we'll talk about it briefly today. We'll zone in more tomorrow, and everything we do will be around this. For example, let's spend some time to pray. Our Father and our God, we are grateful. Thank you for the opportunity you have given uh, for me to be here. Thank you for this amazing work you are doing in this region. Thank you for everyone that is connected here. Thank you for what you have prepared to do. I pray for insight. I pray for wisdom. I pray for impartation. I pray for clarity. I pray for understanding that at the end of all of these, the outcome will bring praise to you. The body will be edified. Your people will be promoted. They will occupy their rightful position in society, impacting life and contributing to your kingdom. We bless you, our God. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So we start before sharing any PowerPoint presentation um, by introducing myself, like Pastor Taiwo mentioned. My name is Soji Sanyaolu. I've been privileged, and I use that word selectively. I've been privileged to build this amazing company called Smart, a company that was formed over 5 years ago, a technology company, solely software. And then we're working on solving critical problems that is affecting mankind, which today food security and climate change. And you will hear a lot of this in the course of my interaction with the team. The style of my presentation will be more collaborative. We may not be able to do a lot of that online, but tomorrow will be very collaborative. I'm going to not just tell you the good part, I will bring my scar to the table. So I'll show you my wound, the one that is healing, the one that has healed. I will share all of these details so that um, it becomes relatable and will be very interactive as well. So please brace up. Uh, and there will be a lot of storytelling, real life experience. I will be drawing from my own well, my experience. I will be sharing these so that on your own journey, as you start, or if you have started on your journey, some of the pitfalls that I have gone through, you can avoid and you can leverage all of these to build an amazing company, and ultimately that God's name will be praised. Now, there is a startup in the Bible I refer to. I will quickly read that part. We'll read it a lot tomorrow and discuss it. Um, it's found in Second Kings chapter 4. We're going to read verses 1 to 7. 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 to 7. I believe because of everybody on this meeting, whether you are in church or out of church, I believe you know this story from the Bible. 2 Kings chapter 4, verses 1 to 7. Uh, I will paraphrase it because of time, and I will share my screen at some point to uh, present. He talked about a woman, and the woman happened to be the wife of a prophet. Like they are God's people, okay? And they knew the prophet in town, the prominent prophet in town, Elisha. But this man, the husband of this woman, died, but he was financially reckless for whatever reason. The details of that was not provided. He left debt to them. They didn't have money, and he secured his own loan with his own children. Okay, so these are business ideas that we'll talk about. He secured it with the loan. The loan he took with his children. If I fail to pay, take my children, like security. And yes, of course, like in every business environment, when you fail, the next action is triggered. So the trigger came, they wanted to pick the children. And so this woman went to the person she knew with her husband, the late husband, Elisha, and complained to Elisha. And Elisha said, "What do you have in your house?" So the same question you will hear from me today, tomorrow. What idea do you have? What do you have? However tiny you think that is, what do you have? And the woman said, "Well, I've got this idea. I've got this resource." He said, "I've got," and I'll read uh, in verse 2, "Thy handmaid had not anything in the house save a pot of oil." The way you have written yourself off to say, "Ah, no, this is not me, I don't have any idea." That woman also said that a pot of oil, that's what she's got. Your research idea, your PhD student, you've gotten PhD, you have that research document, that research project. You have interacted with people, it's clear on your mind, but you feel it's too tiny. That woman had the same. And then Elisha gave this woman that's a startup. We are starting a company like effective immediately. We are going to build this company and say, go and borrow this vessel. So simply put, this Elisha, a mentor, an advisor to this woman, told the woman, "Go and look for capital. So go and borrow, look for fund, go and fundraise, and then borrow those vessels and bring it back and make sure you get enough fund to fund this your idea." And then the production started. They started mixing things together. And that is in verse 4. We see that he said, "Lock the door," like in a proper factory. You are producing stuff. You are not going to produce on the street, correct? You have to get property. You have to get, like our first speaker talked about, you have to get office space. You have to get your workplace. You have to get your production facility in place. And this woman, the Elisha said, "Lock yourself. That's your office space. That's your factory, and begin to produce oil." And then she produced oil. And then when that was done, she went back to her mentor. "Yeah, I produced this oil. Okay, go look for customers." Okay, you have to create a sales department. And that's where we saw in verse 5, verse 6, he said, "And came to pass when the vessels were full, the production was completed. She said unto her son, Bring me yet more vessel." Then he said, "That was it. There's no longer vessel. We're run out of capital. We don't have money again to run our business." So there was stalemate, and we'll talk about that. The business growth stalled because there's no more capital for them to use. And then you'll see what the man said in verse 7. Then she came and told the man of God, and he said, "Go sell the oil. Create sales department. You need a sales team. You need people that will go and market and sell this product. Until you sell your product, your problem is not solved." And that's so critical that for this startup company, sales was at the center. And I will zone it a lot in that because we have seen many startups globally, they raise so much fund, multi-million dollar funding, and then few years after they go bust because they didn't create product that customers were willing to pay for. Okay, for this woman, she had product that people were willing to pay for. She sold, and then on the back of that, verse 7, she paid the debt. So she had so much revenue, she was able to service all the capital, pay the investors, all the people that brought funding to her business. She was able to pay them. And then beyond that, she lived on the rest. So she had abundance. She became financially free. This is startup. The true definition of startup. I know maybe when you read this in the past, you didn't read it like this. But this in these 7 verses is the wisdom that we're going to exploit in the course of these 2 days. I will grind them, think about them, and use them for all of our deliberation. And I know if you understand this scripture, then the rest becomes easier. You can go out and do amazing things. So the topic that I've been assigned, and I know I've spent like 10 minutes there now, is to talk about market size. I'm going to share my screen and I will be very practical. I will run through so that I give a lot of space to questions. So please, if things are dropping in your mind, write it down. If you want to talk while I'm talking, just unmute yourself and say something. It's going to be interactive. I don't need to finish the slide. If you have questions and I'm talking, just unmute and say something. And then we go in that way. And if you want to wait till I finish, by all means, you can also wait for that question. So I'm going to share my screen momentarily and then run through this deck where we will talk about this idea and what does it mean when you talk about the size of your idea. I'm going to share now and then I will project. I believe everyone can see my screen. Please tell me if you can.
Yes, we
Uh,
can see it.
what does this mean? Zomi is requesting to bypass the system private, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to allow, but typically I don't allow, but in this occasion, I allow. And so thanks for confirming that, yes, you can see. Now, validating your idea, it's so important, okay? One of the challenges that I've seen in my own journey and my personal journey in building SMART, it's a lot of people just build their desire, what they like. Okay, you build your desire, no problem. Anybody can wake up and build something. Just the fact that if you build, you have to look for buyer. If you have built your desire, then you won't get anyone to buy from you. So, and that's what we want to do now. And one question that you must ask all the time is this problem big enough? That's so essential. Okay. Is this problem big enough? If you look at that woman in the place we read in the Bible, the problem of shortage of oil was big enough that when she took all of her products to the market, everything was sold, correct? The problem was big enough and the people were willing to pay for that problem. And very foundational to spend money. I mean, if you want to spend any money now, you agree with me, it has to do 2 things. You have to agree in your brain that I need to spend this money, and your heart must agree. So it has to be rational and emotional. And all the time, the last part to check is the emotion. I want to sign this check. Do I do it? And so when someone wants to give you money for your product that you have built, it's coming from the heart after their brain has agreed. The brain agreed, it triggers the next step. Do I feel like giving this guy this money because of what he's selling to me? Once the brain and the heart agrees, transaction happens. And it's so important. So don't build your ideas, build a product that other people, I mean, don't build your desire, build an idea that people are willing to pay for and make sure that problem is big enough. So we'll go through some of the things that you consider to see how big is this problem. Okay. What's the size of the problem? What's the urgency of this problem? You have to look at the scale and urgency of that problem. So, for example, and I will give different illustration to drive home this point. I mean, smart for us, we're solving food security problem and we're solving climate change problem combined. It's a big problem. It's global problem as well. I just need to look at how which part of it I need to tackle and be able to scale out very quickly. Uh, in United Kingdom, and you might please know this, not everybody have access to finance in a way. I know that comment I made will be no, that's true for Africa. But if you do your research, you discover that not too many people have access to some of these things that make transaction easy. And you then look at the population. Is it big enough? Is it an urgent problem to be solved? Is then you are looking at it. Am I bringing a paracetamol to the market or I'm bringing a vitamin to the market? Okay, that's a unique difference between them. If you bring vitamin to the market, no problem. It's optional. People can choose to use your vitamin. They can say, yeah, I don't need vitamin. I can live without that. But if you bring a paracetamol to the market, it's a painkiller. Everybody that has pain will take whatever it takes, use whatever it takes to kill the pain. So a painkiller, a vitamin. Which one are you bringing to the market? All the time, bring a painkiller because then either they like it or not, they will buy your product. If you bring vitamin, no problem. They can choose to buy, and then that's where you have sales problem. And then you look at it that the market is truly looking for your solution. Do not build your desire. That's so important. Don't say, yeah, this is what I like to do. This is just what I want to do. Are people willing to pay for what you are doing? Otherwise, you end up building your desire and then the business dies afterwards. Okay. And then, of course, you are going to look at some of these. How do I know the pain points? Correct. I talked about the issue of paracetamol and the issue of vitamin. Uh, you are going to look at your customer profile. For my product, for example, that I'm building, who are my customer? Who has my check in their pocket? Okay. Whatever I'm doing, who will connect their brain to their heart to sign check for me? Who is my customer? Okay, before you step out at all, who is my customer? And if you can't answer that question, don't start. It's so important. Okay. However much capital, because we talk about raising capital a lot tomorrow, God willing, however much money you raise from investors or from grants, as the case may be, uh, it's not the solution. What runs a company is sales, sales, sales. It's revenue, 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 not investment. And so, who is my customer? Answer that question. And what are the challenges of this, my customer? What's their trouble? And how am I able to validate those pain points? And many times you have to do either the raw going through survey interview. You build what we call the minimum viable product MVP and just throw it out to the market. Okay, yeah, I've just built MVP, lightweight, simple. Just throw it out there and let people use. You will know very quickly whether you have brought a vitamin or you have brought a painkiller to the marketplace. But so important, customer is the only thing you should chase as you are building this company. And you will see all the time, some and some as I go through in a moment. At the heart of it is customer, 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 not investment, not grant, not whatever source of other funding is customer. If you have the customer and they sign the check for you, then fantastic, you have a functional business out there. Now, these are so essential. And I know most people don't consider it. Certainly, me too. When I started Smart in 2020, uh, I never considered this. I didn't check this, and we paid dearly for it. And I mean that genuinely. The whole of 2020 2022, the whole year as a company, we had the sales Q1 2022 total $7,000, 2022. And then that's about it. And even that 2022, we had so much challenge in the process that the customer did not pay us. And we ran one whole year paying salary, running expense, doing everything, and yet no revenue because I didn't do this analysis. And that's why you have to. If you want to start your company, no if, no but, get to the detail and understand what time looks like. What's your sum? What's the sum? So I will explain each of them. And of course, we do calculation. But by all means, if you have questions, instead of chatting it because I'm not reading the chat, unmute yourself and ask so that it can be more interactive, please. So the total addressable market, what does it mean? The SAM, what does it mean? Serviceable addressable market and the serviceable obtainable market. They are jargons, but they mean a lot. In testing, is my business big enough? Is this idea going to fly? And can I shock you? The only part that investors will fund is the size of the problem. That's it. They're only looking at the size of the problem because when they see the size of the problem, they immediately know the size of the opportunity. And when they see the size of the opportunity, they can see the customer, they can see the time, the sum, and the sum. That's what they found. If they see you are building something that, Max, maybe in the whole lifetime of your company, even if you run for 10 years, the maximum number of people you will service is 5,000 people, more likely you won't get funded. All right. And because 5,000, it's just a very tiny business. They want to scale business and they want to fund such business. So your time, as it is the full market demand for your product. And I will show you the calculation so it's more relatable. The sum is a portion of your time that realistically you can have, and the sum is the market you can capture in the short term. What matters to you as a startup is your sum. Is your sum depends on your sum, and your sum depends on your time. So important. Sum, time. Okay. Remember, sum is the closest, the one that, okay, if I start this business in 6 months, this is what I can get in my hand. That's your sum. And you have to make sure you tell yourself the truth. Again, do not build your desire. This be as brutally honest with yourself. Okay, this business, my sum is small, and if my sum is small, I go nowhere. So drop the idea as against grinding, 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 and then having pain points in the process. Okay. I hope I'm communicating. Now, uh, this is the calculation that I was talking about, and I want us to explain this. If you look at it, your TAM, which is the total addressable market, is the total number of potential customer. That's the keyword, customer. Okay. So if we are solving the problem and that problem is going to be something that is global over 8 billion people, you are going to say, okay, out of this 8 billion, I'm sure I will get 2 billion customer globally. So that becomes the total number of potential customer. And how much revenue can you get from one customer? Now, this is estimate, okay? So you can say, I'm short of this 2 billion, I will get revenue. Take note, not profit. There's a difference between profit and revenue, okay? Revenue is income, your sales number, okay? Your revenue, I'm going to get at least $5 from this customer, from these 2 billion people. And what does that mean? Your time becomes 2 billion times $5. That's the total market. That means if you capture 100% of the market, that's your time. Okay. Your product must size up in this space. before you can attract attention for investment and all the likes. The second part is the SAM, the serviceable, addressable market. And if you look at it, another word there, customer. Okay, customer. And then revenue per customer. In TAM, there is no investment there. In SAM, there is no investment there. The keyword is customer who has my check in their pocket and they're willing to combine the agreement of their brain and their heart to sign that check for me. That's the customer, okay, regardless of where they are. And so that's there you see the calculation. Your target customer, you're going to see that. I'll show you actual number in a moment, in the next slide. And of course, the sum is the customer you can reach, okay, because these are very big numbers in like 6 months. How many of these customer can you reach? Well, realistically, I can reach 1,000 of this customer. Out of the 2 billion, I can only reach 1,000. Fantastic. Okay. 1,000 times what is the revenue? $5. So that's $5 times 1,000. That's your sum. And then if you work on this, you can begin to set expectation how you can grow from A to B, B to C, C to D, and until you begin to scale globally. And I talked about the calculation. So I came up with this example. Okay, if I know that my business globally or whichever geography I operate, 1 million potential customers, 1 million in total, and each of them is willing to spend $500. I use dollars, I know we're in Britain, but the kind of business my brain works with is global business. I'm not just building business for United Kingdom. I'm building a global business. It can operate in any geography. And please come with that mindset. So I use US dollars as against British pounds. Of course, we know why that is. So we have these, each of them can spend $500 annually. Okay, that means $500 divided by 12. Okay, whether your business model is subscription, for example, if you divide that by 10, that's $50 per month. That means you can get subscription from them for maybe about $48, $45 per month, and there are 1 million of them. Then, if you multiply this, your stam is $500 million. That's the maximum your business. So, if you dominate the market and you have 100% share of the market, that's what your business will want, $500 million. And of course, the SAM, your product can only serve 30% of these customers. For example, you are going to then find 30% of the $500 million, and that gives you 150 million. And the sum is okay, out of this sum, how much percentage can you capture now? Like in 2 months, how many? I can only capture 10%. And then that's when you find 10% of what is there, and that becomes your sum. Now this may look academic, but it's so vital you get it done before starting. Okay? Whatever the idea is, because if you do, you will know very quickly I don't have anyone that will pay me for what I'm talking about. Who are my customers? You must answer that question. Okay. You can't create the customer to come looking for you. That's so important. Okay. So, who are my customers? And you know that, then that comes to Pastor Taiwo, sir. Oh, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Just a question. Now, we need to get some
Mm.
realistic figures here.
Mhm,
Can you
mhm.
like point us to the approach to getting these figures?
Okay, very good question. Now, the way I did it in my own case is to build MVP. Okay. So MVP, I said minimum viable product, lightweight, no heavy investment. You just did something quick and dirty and put it in the hand of people. And then very quickly you will know whether people are using this thing or not. You'll know your potential customer. Okay. And I speak from a point of a technology company. So I run a technology company. We write software for living, and our solution, all of our capabilities wrapped with software. So, and that's where I'm coming from. So, how many people download this app? How many people are coming back with, say, oh, this app is not working? So, you are testing the market with MVP, okay? Minimum viable product. So important. Another one, which personally I don't fancy because it works, but in knowing what I know about survey, about going for questionnaire, is that the way you draft your questionnaire, the question is the intent of those completing those questionnaire. Are we sure they have the right intent, or they just want to say, yeah, he asked me to fill? I just say yes, 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 no, 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 and you have your data screwed, like it's not correct from day one. But if you build MVP, you are dealing with real human being. You go to someone and say, okay, I'm giving you this thing. Can you test it? Does it work or not? If it works, can you give to 10 of your friends? And you'll be getting real feedback from them. This is bad. This is not good. Oh, yeah, fantastic. I love it. Can you show me more? And then you begin to validate. And that is the way over these years, every product we have brought to the marketplace, that's the way we do that. And then you'll be able to equally test what they can pay for that service. Okay. Now, I will tell you my own story. Very good story. Smart will work with farmers because our capabilities wrapped around agriculture. And we're operating in sub-Saharan Africa. Like, to start with, operationally based in Nigeria. I figured out very quickly that farmers don't have money. All right. So, and if you must take money from them, you have to figure out how to collect that money from them. How much are they willing to pay? All right. If you go and put some bogus amount of money, they'll say, yeah, yeah, thank you, bye bye. That's it. They go. And you lose them. So this MVP will help you to gauge how much are they willing to pay. And it has to be iteration. Like MVP means you do it, there's a feedback, you are going back again, just turning it until it matches the requirement of the people. This is the way we have done it. Does not mean it's the only way. There are other ways, but real human interaction will help in this area.
Thank you,
This
sir.
is smart, for example. This is our own expert example. I talked about the SAM, the TAM, and the SOM. So today, SMART's total addressable market is $87.9 billion. Okay, that's, of course, we're based in Africa. Our focus is Africa. Okay, and then we aim, listen to my word, the total addressable market is $87 billion, but we are targeting $18 billion out of it. So when you are pitching to people, because pitching, storytelling, as a startup founders, you have to learn this ability with time. You tell stories and you are pitching. You have to use the right word to communicate that. You don't go there, our time is this, our sum is this. So we say, okay, what does that mean? So I say, yeah, the market size, the total market size for the problem we're solving is $87.9 billion, and Smart is targeting 18 billion out of these. So they understood that out of 87, we want to corner 18 billion. And 18 billion is a good money. If I can corner all of that, I will say, okay, where is the beach? I'm going on holiday, correct? I know that I just step up to be the chairman, someone can then run the company. So, but then you can see I also did something. Okay, I also did something here. Uh, no, I also did something here, which is the compound, the CAGR. All of these are calculation. You have to get research, look at what figures that are being used in different quarters. And we discovered that this market by 2032 is going to go over $300 billion with a compounding rate of 14% above. I think that communicates to every investor that this is a big problem. this is a big opportunity, and they can line up behind the company and put money in your pocket. Um, there are other things I have alluded to that all the time as part of a startup, you need to know the following. And so important, I will zone into this a lot. Uh, is what we call one of them is the burn rate. How much are you burning? Because either you raise money or you sell, you have to then look at how much do you burn on monthly basis. And so important, you don't just spend money and you don't know how much you're spending. And the customer acquisition funnel, look at the word funnel. Okay, that means you put everybody you can think of in that funnel, and you have some of them dropping through the other side. What's that funnel like? And how can you make sure you are tailoring your product and your storytelling to the customer so they all queue into your funnel? And of course, revenue, revenue, revenue. So important. Do not build, and I beg you, I am saying this with all sense of responsibility. Do not build your business on investment. And certainly, and I may be wrong, some people might challenge me here. Do not build your business on grants. You can go and ask those companies that have built all of their processes around US aid, for example. It's grant, all right? So USAID was giving out money. Some people can get $1 million, $2 million. No, and it was cheap money, it was easy money until that. Then I say, yeah, there's no more USAID. You have not run your business to look for customer. You have stopped your business. The oxygen of your business is on aid, is on grants. Please avoid it because when that grant stops, the oxygen is removed, it's natural death for that business. Build your business with customer, revenue from customer, not investment, and definitely not grant. That would be my recommendation. And in my own experience, for example, and then we go, you focus on some of these metrics, customer acquisition costs. How much will it get me? How much will I spend to acquire a customer? Okay, this idea I've built, how much will I spend to get there? What is my monthly recurring revenue from this customer? What is my burn rate? What is my runway? Your runway is how much can you survive if there's no other money coming in? When will your company die if nothing comes in? And most companies, their runway is 6 months. Startups, some people can have runway of 3 months. If they don't have sales, no investment, no money comes in 3 months, they're gone. Okay. So important. That's your runway. You want to make sure that all of the things that is there is done. And of course, some of these are things I'm going to amplify a lot tomorrow. Your unit of economics. Unit of economics. Most companies have built their startups on investment. Yeah, we just raised $2 million pre-seed. Yeah, we just going for the seed round. We just raised $5 million. The valuation of my company now is $20 million, $30 million. Fantastic, no problem. But the unit of economics, which means the cost of production to vis-a-vis the cost of money coming in, like they say, balance. If you see what I mean, it's not the books are not balancing. They are spending so much than they are bringing in, and to fill in the gap, they chuck it with investment. No problem. You can keep going for investment until you get to Series A, and they tell you, "Okay, we want to see is your business profitable or not." Okay. And if it is not profitable, will our capital enable your business to be profitable? So I pay a lot of attention to unit of economics. This product, how much did it cost us to make it? When we sell it, we sold it at this amount. What is the cost of transaction from A to B? Did we make profit or were we making a loss? And unit of economics means you are constantly looking at your OPEX, operational expense, is the killer of any business. Okay, note this. As you begin to build your company, you will deal with OPEX, you will deal with CAPEX every day. OPEX, CAPEX, OPEX, CAPEX. Your OPEX is your day-to-day expense. It's like what you use to grind. You pay salary. Like our teacher earlier on told us, pay salary. You are looking at, okay, am I going to hire people in United Kingdom? Okay, no problem. You are going to pay in British pounds, okay? Will you prefer to go look for that person and pay in Naira? All right? Because you are looking at that OPEX, how much can I stretch my dollar to do more for me? Okay, I have today in United Kingdom people that work for Smart. We pay them in British pounds, but very limited. And I'm very temperamental about it. I don't like the idea. I only use them because I have to use them. The rest of my employee, they're coming out of Nigeria. Why? I pay in Naira. And they do the job. They do it so well because the unit of economies, my OPEX must be so low, otherwise the company will die. Okay, and no if no but it will die a natural death. And so OPEX is low and CAPEX is up there amortizing on monthly basis, and everything is tied to unit of economics. Now I need to say this and I'll keep quiet. I believe this is my last slide. Okay. For everything you will do as a startup founder, there will be assumptions, there will be things you will assume. A, because you don't have the data. Yeah, you built the MVP, but you are not getting all the answers. So you are compelled to make assumptions. Okay. And it's okay to make assumption. I assume that this product will take 10 working days for it to be complete from start to finish. Assumption, 10 working days. But it is your duty to take those assumptions and stress test it, put it to use. 10 days, start, finish. Is it 10 days? Oh, it's not. It took us like 35 days to finish. The moment you see 35 days, you go back to your assumption and amend it. It's 35 days. Do not build your desire. Do not, there's no emotion here. There's no like, I need to like, no emotion. I tell people, and please permit me to talk freely. In my own case, when I run Smart, emotion is zero. I do not make any decision on emotion. It has to come from the brain, rational, backed with data. If I want to fire someone, I fire with passion as well. Call them. You are leaving the company, and as I'm talking to them, I'm disabling all their assets from the business. Before that time, we were friends laughing together, but I fire you, that's it, you're out. No emotion. Okay, so those assumptions, we go there and correct them, fix them. Okay, this is now 35 days instead of 10 days. I fix that. And what is the cascaded impact of that wrong assumption? You adjust the variables around to make sure that this is okay. Okay, you have built the product. You say, yeah, when people see this, they're going to pay me at least $50 because it's so good. It's $50. You put it to the market, and people say, seriously, you want me to give you $50? Okay, I give you $2. Okay, $2. Seriously? Yeah, it's $2. I'm willing to pay. The customer is right. You go back to the assumption and say, okay, my revenue has just been decimated by almost whatever the percentage. You put the $2 and then see what is the impact, and then you grind from there. This is the process. And I strongly believe, because I know my time is almost up now, some of these we will amplify again tomorrow. I will stop so that I leave the floor. I hope I still have some time for questions
Yes, sir, you
or
do.
comment. Questions, comment. Let's interact a little. Let's compare notes. I keep quiet now. So,
Thank you very much, sir. Can we give our speaker a virtual clap? If you want to clap physically, it's also allowed.
mhm.
I I want to prove that we are good students. There is a phrase our speaker has been emphasizing from the word go. Who can tell me that phrase? There's a phrase it keeps drumming into your ears. Let's see that we are good students. Don't disappoint me.
Should not build your desire.
Don't build your desire. Don't just build something you like, something you fancy. Make
Yeah.
sure that there's a customer out there. Right. There are also 3 key abbreviations he used. You can tell me the first one and what it means. 3 key abbreviations that he used. Come on. I know we are good students. Okay, the first one is term. You can tell me what term means. Uh-oh.
The total market size.
Not perfectly. Total available market. Am I correct, sir?
Total addressable.
Addressable. Then the other one is SAM. Who can tell us what SAM means?
Serviceable addressable market.
Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Then the last one is SOM. Can tell us what SOM means?
Serviceable obtainable market.
Rolakpade, you're a very good student. Maybe we'll give you a prize tomorrow. Right, so we have a couple of questions here. The first one, it says, how can one successfully enter a business they are passionate about, despite the market being highly competitive or oversaturated?
Okay. Can I go? Okay. Now, so we go back to Sam and Som and Tam, correct? You have used the word there, saturated, overcrowded. So it means from day one, you are bringing in competition. All right. And in the marketplace, you have to bring in a differentiation to your product to beat competition. Okay, that differentiation may be in terms of quality, but most importantly, price. Okay, so if you want to beat ChatGPT, no problem. All right, can you build a better platform that is cheaper than ChatGPT? Then you have market share. You beat competition. My recommendation, and you use the word passionate. Passion is emotion. Okay, it's good to be passionate, and all of us we have a dose of passion, but passion does not pay for product. Passion is not what we sign the check. It's customer. Okay, so is it that you use that your passion before you walk into a crowded market to go out there, use the passion to size up customer. What are the reasons why they will not buy product A, B, C, D, and they will buy another? If you get those answers with your passion, okay, then come back and build that product and then show the customer, is this what you told me about? If they like it and they pay for it, then you can scale. The rule of thumb for every startup is to build a product with, at the barest minimum, as very limited competition. Well, that's how you have the oxygen in the room. If the oxygen is being taken by many people, it's difficult. But when you come in fresh in the room, nothing, little people, little competition, then here you are. I mean, for my own company, Smart, one of the things we're building today, and it's giving us decent traction, is playing within the climate space and driving what we call the new economy, the carbon credit economy. And I can say this before everybody, that Smart is the only company in Nigeria, the first of its kind, that have issued carbon credits to farmers. So everybody comes to us. Oh yeah, I want to. I mean, I can show you emails. I can show they like rove around me from every medium. I want to be part of your project. So yeah, that's fine, but I don't have space. I'm too busy, and it's a good place to be when people chase you. Why? Because we went into a space that there was nobody, and we're taking the market share. And hopefully, I know people will come and catch up, but before they come in, we've made money and we've innovated more. There was a question from one of the first speaker, and that question was, how do you deal with competition, uh, or how do you deal with intellectual property? Is constant innovation because there will be people that will copy and paste, no problem. Just be ahead of the curve by innovating. They will keep copying, but before they get to where you are, you have gone further. Does that make sense? Okay. Second question, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. The second question, I guess you might be addressing tomorrow, but I'll still ask it. If I need to start a care agency, what do I need to do and know about this? How can I buy a care home or start a care home in the UK?
Okay, good question. Um, to start with, it's a regulated industry. And what that means is you have to play with the regulator. You have to get the license. Um, and by mere coincidence, it's a place I've played in the past as well. Then I'll tell you my scar, my experience, and of course the money I made from there before I left because completely it was a lot of trouble. Anyway, so we have by all means, if this is what you want to pursue, it's okay. So do not when I show you my scar, I'm not showing you to discourage you. It's for you to see so that okay, you got that wound. How can I avoid it? Okay, that's what that is meant for. There's a regulated space. You have to deal with the CQC. And because it's regulated, by a single signature, you can be shut down. Uh, by a single signature, you can be made to start. So that means you have that problem. And number two, because it's a regulated space where your pricing is equally determined by largely the regulator or by the biggest customer, the government. Okay. What that means is you can't just increase your margin. Your margin is predetermined. It's equally an overcrowded space. What that means is you have lots of care home, everybody looking for the same service users, as it is called. Those are the customers looking for the same users. So overcrowded. So where is your differentiation? That would be the question. What else can I do? And then couple with the fact that if you want to say you want to use software, the software also has to be approved by the regulator. So what that means is your software that you use to run your home, your care service, you have to subscribe for it. Either you make money or you don't make money. Either you get service user or you don't have. You have to pay for the subscription for that service. And so that makes things your lever for the things you can control are so limited, unfortunately so limited. And so that's the challenge of that industry. But if you can walk into it with all these that I've mentioned, you can make money very quickly. The turnover is okay in terms of revenue. You charge maybe the service user £25 for 1 hour. You get the care user, this carer, you give them like £15, you have £10 left. And then your question is that £10 multiplied by how many service user? That £10 multiplied by how many days of the month? That's how the number goes. It's a game of number, but then you have to pay a lot of attention on OPEX. It's OPEX heavy. Okay, but OPEX is daily expense, so heavy on OPEX. And if you can't manage that too well, you see a lot of people, they jump from table to table, achieving nothing. They create activity. You see them working, yeah, I'm doing something, but beneath it, there is nothing. It's just activity. And you don't want to do that. And my concern with care home and my own view of startup is a business that can scale globally. Okay. Uh, can you scale your care home in the UK to United States? Probably not. You have to start a new process there. But that does not mean people can't make money from care. I think I will just stop there so that I don't go around in circles. Okay. Other questions, please.
Thank you, sir. One more before we close. The person is asking, what is the process for securing a shop space in the UK as a new business owner?
A shop space, like office space.
Yes, maybe somewhere you can, where you can
What
sell
does
or
why
run
do you
your
why
office.
do you need a shop?
Hmm.
Can I ask you if the person can give me what do you want to use the shop for?
The person can speak
Please.
up, please, if you ask the question. Right. I guess the person is too shy to speak up.
Please, so that I can tailor the answer, please ask. Feel free. We're comparing notes here. None of us, I'm still building my business. I've not, SMART is not at IPO stage yet. I'm not on the floor of New York Stock Exchange or that of the UK. So we're all still learning. So please feel free. Let's compare notes. Why do you need a shop? Please ask.
Who
What
asked the
what are you
question,
selling?
please? Oh dear. Well, it's okay. So I think we'll just skip it. Um, we just skip the
Maybe
question.
someone said maybe it needs a space for physical goods.
Good.
Okay. Yeah, because one of the okay, let's step back. And I asked that question for a reason. Uh, as as a new business, as a new startup, tomorrow, God willing, I will be telling you one of the first places to raise fund three F's. Okay, family, friends, and fools. Those are the three ways you can raise money. Fools because, oh yeah, you're building a company. Yeah, I have some £5,000. They don't even know whether it will work or not. They give you that fools. So we call it family, friends, and fools. Those will be your first set of money you will get. Family, you have just gone to mom and say, Mom, I need this money. I'm so convinced. And mommy said, are you sure? I have just £10,000 home and abroad, and mommy signed £9,000 for you, remaining 1K. That's family. Or your own money. Like some of us, we have a wife, and your wife doesn't know. You have gone to convince sister and say, I need to do this. How much do we have? We have just £20,000. Oh, don't worry, this business must work now, now, now. Just you convince her and she agrees. Family. All right? Now, when you collect those money together, and the first thing you think of is to go and get big office with signage and a rocky chair and say, I'm the CEO. They are looking for trouble very quickly. Okay? Yeah, very quickly. So, except it is essential, except that what you are selling in that shop, what you are selling, please note what you are selling, what customer are buying, the money from it will pay for the rent of that shop. Okay. Otherwise, you'll be depleting your capital very quickly from your friends, from family, and from the foe. And when those money run out, you can't go back to those people because they will ask you, the one we gave you, what did you use it for? Then the business will die. So please, I beg you, uh, running startup, there is no status here. It's not social media. You don't know who I am. No, 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 no. We're building business here. We're not playing to the gallery. There's no show off, for example. Does it make sense? So you are building a business, even if And I will give you a story, very important story. And maybe I will then stop here. I will talk more about this tomorrow. Very early in the days of SMAP in 2020, of course, those FFF I told you, I was one of the founder. A brother that did earlier on said he funded his own company. I did too as well. Okay, so I have a skin in the game. Like I tell the investors, so it's in my interest that SMART does not fail, because if it fails, my money will go. And I also tell my staff, hey, listen up. All of you here, you are gambling on my money. It's my money. So you can't just tell me you want to buy this. You need to tell me why that is important. Because it's my money. Everybody here is spending. Your salary, everything is my money. And you have to spend it nicely. So we started and we were doing it. The first set of money we got externally, and I'll talk about this tomorrow, we got funding from NVIDIA. NVIDIA is a company that makes chip for ChatGPT. Okay. They gave us $25,000, but they didn't give us cash. They gave us in cloud access, okay? Because we're a software company, like every company here, you will need access to run your software, your application. And so we needed that 25K. Whoa, that's a lot of money. And they gave us two options. That $25,000, we either finish it in 2 years or we lose the money. Whichever one comes first. Oh, time is up. Let me finish this story and then I will go. Please permit me. So, whichever one comes first, the 25K, burn it in 2 years, or we burn it in less than 2 years. That's it. And so we took the money. We were lucky and we were spending until the 2 years ran out, and we're still running in the cloud until one day they shut us down. We've racked up debt of $8,000, like proper. I just got a call from my co-founder. He said, everything is down. I said, what do you mean by everything is down? He said, "No, our application is not working. That's it." For us to have access to our data, our application, you know what we did? I had to sign a check of $8,000, like cash, and wired it to Amazon Web Services before they gave us access. And then from that day, I told my staff, we're building our own data center today. And I say this, I try to be secured about it. The bulk of our on-premise capability run out of my garage at home. Everything runs out of there. I built, got internet, did all of that out of the garage, nothing fancy. The last count, we got funding of $175,000 from Microsoft. And those are facts, $175,000 to build our AI capability. And I did that to my team. Whatever you're building in the Azure cloud, you're replicating it on premise, because someday that oxygen will run out of it. I do not want anything is down. And so there is nothing fancy here. Okay, when it's time, when you see me at home, oh, something is there, I run to the garage, I'm running for cable, I'm the CEO, the chief messenger. Okay, so because we look for every means to save money, the rule of any startup, do not run out of money. Otherwise, you die. No if, no but. In fact, you run out of money, that's it. You are toasted. The company is gone. And when it's gone, other people will pick the idea and they will run with it. So please do not run out of money. If you don't need shop, don't buy, go and get shops. Run the company from your house, generate decent revenue. The customer, when they begin to pay you, you will know the natural next step is to have a shop, not getting shop and hoping the customer will come. You can be there for 6 months, they're not coming, but you are burning your OPEX, burning until you run out of money. Okay, I keep quiet now. I'm sure we'll talk a lot tomorrow, God willing. So,
Thank you very much. Can we please give our speaker another virtual round of applause. Thank you so much, sir. We really, really appreciate
Thank you so much, sir.
all the insights you've given us. We thank God for our first speaker equally. And so we are looking forward to seeing you tomorrow.